community, family, faith. Welcome to the Reclaimed American Podcast. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Shad Turner, and this is episode 23. And in this episode, we're going to talk about vision. Vision for the podcast, vision for the future, and where I'm trying to go. But before we get into that, as always, we're going to start off with the Baby T Chronicles update. And this week was an alright week. We did just hit, on Monday, week 15 of the pregnancy. And so far, everything's looking good. We went to the doctor on Monday, had some blood drawn, pee test, all that good stuff. Make sure that everything is going well with the pregnancy. We did have one instance where we had to go to the ER this time around, but it was not because of anxiety. This time around, my wife unfortunately had a headache that was just like born in hell and came at her with a vengeance. And no matter what she did, could not get rid of the headache. Took Tylenol. She's using the 500 milligram Tylenol or acetaminophen. Took 2 of those. Nothing. Tried taking some of her oh shit medication. Nothing. That bad boy was sticking with her, and it was fucking with her mind, literally, hardcore. And it just seemed like as the night went on, it just got progressively worse. So, we went to the ER. They checked her out, gave her some fluids. They gave her a shot of morphine, which we're still, not entirely sure if that was a good thing with the baby, even though we said, hey, is this going to fuck with the baby? Oh, no, it'll be fine. Well, it made her not care about the headache, but she could tell the headache was still there. A few hours later, headache was still there, and she told the doc that when they came in to check on her, and they ended up giving her a shot of something else, and like within 5 minutes, the headache was almost completely gone. So I have no idea what they gave her. I really wish I knew what it was, but it was not listed in the discharge paperwork, so I don't know. But anyway, she's feeling much better. Found out that certain types of nuts that she had been able to eat during the pregnancy so far did not sit well with her today and violently came back up. But so she won't be eating those for a while. But anyhow, so that's it for the Baby T Chronicles. Nothing major to report, thank God. And I'll let you know what happens next week. Now for this week, like I said, we're going to talk about the vision, the direction for the show. I know I did a intro show back on episode 5, and I've probably talked about stuff off and on before, like from somewhere between episode 5 and episode 21. But after doing 22, talking with Tony Turner, it made me realize a little more of the direction I want to go in with this. And that's why today is not an interview show. Today is just me talking to y'all and letting you know the 10 goals that I have for this show. And so let's get into it. Oh, actually, no, wait. Before we get into it, there are some announcements I want to do. That's going to be one, that's a new segment for the show, is announcements. Announcements could also eventually become sponsors. So if you'd like to sponsor the show, hit me up, let me know, we'll talk. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a few announcements for events that are going on around the Houston community. And the first announcement I want to talk to y'all about, there was a newspaper that was being produced by a Navy veteran, and the newspaper is called the Scuttlebutt. For whatever reason, back around 2017, November timeframe, that seemed to have been the point where it just kind of dropped off. I'll be honest, I don't know the story. I would like to know the story eventually and perhaps share it if they're up for it. But the reason I mentioned the Scuttlebutt is they are having a comeback celebration. They are planning on relaunching And they're doing this at a kind of a party, if you will. And that'll be held on September 8th. And so the details for the show, I'm looking it up on Facebook, so y'all can do the same thing, by the way. If you were to type in the Scuttlebutt Comeback Celebration, you should be able to find it that way. And the details are, have you missed reading the Scuttlebutt Veteran newspaper? Wait no more. It's back. Our mission is to unify the veteran community. Join us as we honor veterans of all eras. And it's being sponsored by the U.S. Family Health Plan. So that's just what they have written up on Facebook. But, let's see. So, yes, it will be held on September 8th, which is a Sunday, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Veteran Retreat Project Respect Houston location. Yeah, it says Veteran Retreat Center, Project Respect, 8730 East Mount Houston, Houston, Texas, 77050. So if y'all are available and you're in the Houston area on Sunday, September 8th, between 2 and 8 p.m., come on out. I'm going to be there because I would love to check it out. I remember picking up copies of the newspaper. They had been giving them out to Home Depots, the veteran clinics around Houston, and they were free newspapers. And it was pretty cool. They had interesting stories. They had advertisements from different businesses that either supported the community or they were veteran businesses. And it seemed like a pretty good newspaper. And like I said, they just kind of fell off for whatever reason. Sometimes shit happens. But I'm glad to see that they're coming back, and I will be at their comeback celebration. Now, the other announcement that I've got is for a group called Barbecue for Merica. They are here in the Houston area, and they're doing a benefit on Saturday, August 10th, from noon to 9 p.m., and this is a barbecue benefit for injured law enforcement officer. If you go to their Facebook page, you can get tickets, which is done through Eventbrite, and it shows that the tickets range from $20 to $100. And the event is for an officer, Curtis Jones, who was injured on May 14th this year when he was involved in a high-speed pursuit of a suspect involved in a disturbance. The suspect eventually crashed and attempted to escape on foot. CJ and his partner exited their patrol car and began chasing the suspect on foot. Just after CJ exited the patrol car and took off running, he heard a loud pop and fell to the ground. Though in extreme pain, CJ got up and limped after the suspect and was there when he was apprehended. It turns out the suspect was also a fugitive wanted by the U.S. Marshal's Office. So CJ was transported to the hospital where they discovered he had a complete tear in his Achilles tendon and had been unable to return to work since undergoing his surgery on June 26th. The doctors expect him to be out of work for at least 4 to 6 months. So basically, yes, they're having a benefit barbecue for Officer Jones. So if you're in the Houston area, want to have some really good food and hang out with some really good people, check it out. And like I said, search for Barbecue for Merica. That's Merica. And look for the barbecue benefit for injured law enforcement officer. So that's it for the announcements. Now let's get back into it. Like I said, I've got 10 goals for this show. And the first goal that I had for the show was just starting the show. Because starting it is, you can't have something unless you start going after that something. So the first goal was to get the show started, which I've done. The second goal was to get better equipment, because when I first started, I was literally just recording on my iPhone. Then I discovered that the microphone on my iPhone was not necessarily the greatest. So I upgraded to a lapel mic that you could plug into the phone and started doing recordings that way. And let's see, also I was just using free software that was available online through iTunes. And yeah, it worked. It got me what I wanted to do, or got me going anyways. And my very first episodes were video episodes, which you can find on YouTube if you search Reclaimed American. And they weren't very good. I'll be honest, they were pretty rough. Actually, the video was alright, but the show itself for iTunes, I just ripped the audio out and then posted that as my podcast. Which, like I said, it got something out there, but it wasn't the greatest. And so now I've started using a Windows netbook that I've had going on 10 years. More than 10 years, actually. Probably closer to 12 by now. But this little bastard just keeps on going. So as long as it works, I'm going to use it. And essentially I upgraded to an Audio-Technica mic, which is a USB plug-in mic. It's got a port on the back so I can plug the headphones in for the monitor or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, it works pretty well. Got a little one of those articulating arms to hold on to the mic. Sometimes I use the little pop filter, sometimes I don't. And yeah, so upgraded the equipment, so got that one checked off the list. Then the next one, item number 3, was just getting comfortable. Because honestly, when you first start doing this, you're nervous as hell. You ramble a lot, which I still do. Sorry about that. But it is what it is. It's just the way that I am. And so yeah, you have to get comfortable doing it, and the only way that's going to happen is by doing it. Yeah, I think a few times my wife was like, "Well, don't you want to learn how to do this better, or maybe do this better or that better?" And it's like, the only way I'm going to learn is to get out here and actually do it. There's many podcasts that I've listened to for the the last 4 years that when they started, they were rough. They're where I'm at now. And now, I mean, they're smooth, streamlined. The questions on the interviews are just the quote-unquote perfect questions. And they have awesome guests. Well, I'm just starting out. I'm still going after the awesome guests. And we'll go from there. So now, number 4 is kind of what catches us up to modern times, where we're at right now in the present. And that is starting to do interviews. So like the first 20 episodes, 21 episodes to be exact, were just monologue shows. My goal is to move into interview shows because you get a lot more value out of an interview-based show than you do a monologue show. Now don't get me wrong, monologues are great. You can learn a lot of things from them, but it's just one person talking. And which I'm doing right now. But when it's an interview, you get that back and forth. You get that friendly banter, and to me, it's a lot more entertaining. And when you're entertained, you tend to remember more of what it is you're listening to. So that's why I'm moving towards the interview shows. But that also kind of rolls into number 5, which is kind of the purpose of what I'm doing right now. And what I'm wanting to do is start promoting veteran organizations, veteran groups, individuals that are doing good things, not only in the world, but also for the veteran community. Now, I'm also not going to stop just with the veteran community. I also want to speak with groups that are helping out first responders, be it firefighters, law enforcement officers, paramedics. I mean, these people see all kinds of shit. They go through hell. Some of them end up with, the issues where they can't sleep because of the things they've seen. And they need help, just like the veterans do. So that's why I want to start promoting these groups, these individuals that are out there trying to help people get better. And especially in the veteran community, try to help stop that 22 a day number that's going around out there. Because it's a shame, you went through hell, you come back home thinking everything will be fine, and then you're basically thrown to the wolves. So there are people out there. There are groups that will help you. All you have to do is reach out. Now, number 6 is another way that I'm trying to help these groups. Because number 6 is donating some of my woodworking projects to these groups. Because a lot of these groups, a lot of these nonprofits, one of the ways they make money is they have charity events. And at a lot of these events, they have silent auctions, raffles for different prizes. And my goal is to start producing my wood epoxy projects and donating it to these groups. And I'm covered. I'm making the project, I'm making the piece, whatever it is, and then I'm sending it to them. Or if depending on how they want to do it, I could send it straight to the end user. But my goal is to make things to give to them for whatever promotional thing they're doing to try to drum up support for them and their cause. So if you know anyone who has a event coming up and they're wanting to do a silent auction, a raffle, or whatever, have them reach out to me and we'll talk and we'll see what I can come up with. Now, of course, as always, and this is something I need y'all's help with, is number 7, growing my audience. And what I need help with on there is when I make a post on Facebook, help me out by sharing that post. Get the message out in front of more people. I'm working on trying to do my daily posts about, Mondays are my Monday Minute. Tuesdays, I'm actually rethinking how I'm doing Tuesdays. I had been doing the YouTube Tuesday, which YouTube is fine for sharing videos to Facebook. But I do most of my social media stuff from my phone. And trying to share YouTube videos on Instagram is a royal pain in the ass. I know if I was using the desktop, there's plenty of programs out there where I can just download the video to the desktop and then I could reload that to Instagram that route. But like I said, I do a lot of my stuff from the phone and there is nothing that I've been able to find so far for downloading a YouTube video directly to my phone and then being able to re-upload that to Instagram. So if anybody out there knows of a way to do it, please reach out to me. Let me know. But so that's Tuesdays, okay? Like I said, I'm rethinking what I'm doing for Tuesdays. I'll get back to y'all on that one. Wednesday is still my Wednesday Wishes. And, yeah. So today is actually Wednesday, and I put that out this morning. Today, let's just say I was frustrated. That's the only way I'm going to put it. I was frustrated. I get bored with things if I do them over and over and over and over again way too much. And unfortunately, that has been kind of going on with work, and that's all I'm going to say about it. And when I start getting bored and tired of things, I start looking for other things. So that's something I've got to work on. Right now, I mean, I've got to keep a job. I've got to keep insurance because pregnancy is not cheap from what I understand if you don't have insurance. So, yeah, that's what we got there. Let's see. Thursdays are still going to be Thankful Thursdays, where I will say one thing that I'm thankful for in life. And then that leads us into Friday. Friday is going to be the updates for the show, me trying to promote it out to you guys, so that hopefully then you can share it out to the world and help me grow the message. Because in order for me to help other organizations, I need more community involvement. I need more of an outreach. And that can only happen with growth. And growth only happens when the community shares the message to others. So, like I always tell you in every episode, please go to whatever podcast player you're using and follow, subscribe, whatever. Make sure you share the message. Make sure you leave me a rating and review And like I heard on a podcast today, and I'm totally down with this, if you believe I deserve a 5-star review, by all means, please leave me a 5-star. If you think I'm just screwing up royally and I need a 1-star, please leave me the 1-star and leave me a comment about it, because that's the only way I'm going to change. That's the only way I'm going to fix things to make it better for everybody, and then be able to grow. Let's see. That's it for 7. I need to grow the audience more, and I really do need y'all's help for that. I need your help to share the message, share the show, and help me to grow so I can do more things for everybody else. Now, number 8. Number 6 is just kind of but getting my artwork out there to people to make it more well known, because number 8 is I do plan on starting to sell the woodworking stuff that I'm making. And by doing that, that will help me to fund this show. It'll help me to be able to do more things, eventually host my own events, and try to help out as many organizations as I can through the money that I earn from selling the woodworks. And eventually, I would like to get into number 9, which is starting to have some kind of an online course where perhaps I teach y'all how to do the stuff that I do, the woodworking and whatnot. Who knows, maybe at some point I'll even start a course on other things, but for right now I'm going to focus on the woodworking. I know there are people out there that are very successful in doing their woodworking and their wood epoxy projects, and they hold classes on how to do what they do, because it's one thing to watch a quick video on YouTube of someone, spreading a bunch of epoxy around on a piece of wood and then, making something really quick that, the whole video lasts like 2 minutes. But to see someone in person or see a video where it's more slowed down and directed to you so you can learn how to do these things, those are a lot more informative than just a quick, like on Instagram, you're limited to 1-minute videos unless you make multiple video posts. But you get a lot more out of something that's created as a course, or maybe a webinar course or something. And who knows? I mean, I'd love to even do face-to-face. I love meeting new people. I love interacting with people and talking with people. So that is definitely a route that I am considering. And then also, eventually, one of the other ways that I hope to monetize this show so I can help more people is to get sponsors, which kind of ties back to growing the audience, because the bigger the audience, the more likely it is that sponsors are willing to pay you to talk about their stuff. So that's it. That's what I need y'all's help with. Eventually, like I said, I want to grow this audience. I want to have a larger reach than what I currently do so I can help more people. And that's one of those things that just, every time I'm sitting at work or I'm driving to a new location and I'm thinking to myself, God, I hate life right now. I'm doing what I'm doing for a purpose. And that purpose right now is to take care of my family. Well, this show, the purpose of this show is to help to take care of my community. And that's it. That's what I want to do. I want to grow the show, grow the community, help as many people, especially veterans and first responders, as I can. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I need y'all's help to do it. I've got to grow the show. And if you've got any recommendations, any comments on how I do the show and what you'd like to see, by all means, drop me a message. Like I said, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Reclaimed American. You can also email me if you'd like, reclaimedamerican@gmail.com. And shoot me a message, and say, hey, I would love to see you do this. Or, hey, maybe you need to lay off of that, And I'll take it to heart. I'll do what I can, and I'll try to grow the show so I can help more people. And I mean, ultimately, my goal in life isn't to have a cushy office job, although I know my wife would love it if I did, because the cushy office jobs are quote-unquote safe in a sense, but safe doesn't always sit well with everybody. I like challenges. I like doing new things. I like being in different places. And basically my goal is to give every day all that I have so that I can so that I can become stronger for the next day. Because if you're sitting on your butt every day, you're not becoming stronger. But when you're out there, you're doing it, you're busting your ass working, that makes you stronger. It makes you more resilient. It makes you more capable so you can do more the next day. And I realize that means I'm going to be struggling at times. But at the end of the day, it's life, Life is a struggle. So basically, my goals are set and my vision is clear. I know which way I'm going. I know what I want to do. I can see the path that's in front of me. And I'll be honest, it's not going to be an easy path by any means. But life shouldn't be easy. If life's easy, you become complacent. And when you can become complacent, things can fall apart in a heartbeat. But I also plan on working my ass off for everything that I've got and everything that I have coming to me. Because if someone were to just suddenly say, you know what, I can, like all these companies on Instagram, they're like, oh, sign up with us. We can get you 20,000 followers. Yeah, but who are these followers? If you didn't actually work to gain the trust of the people that are following you, then are they actually worth a damn? But when you bust your ass every day and you put in the work and you show people the struggles that you go through, they should be, you can appreciate that. Ultimately, I just want to leave y'all with this. And remember, if you work your ass off for something, you appreciate it more. If you're given something, it doesn't mean as much to you, and you don't appreciate it nearly as much. But when you know the value and the sacrifice that went into gaining something, that something becomes more precious to you. It becomes more valuable than anything that you've just been given in your life. And that's what I'm working for. That's what I'm working towards, is to, one, gain your trust, gain your respect, and to help people wherever I can. Anyways, that's it. I'm wrapping it up. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. I'll see y'all next time. I'm out. Thank you for listening to the Reclaimed American podcast. If you're ready to do more and be more, start by leaving us a rating and review on iTunes or Google Play. Then join our community on Facebook and Instagram at Reclaimed American, and join us over on our website at reclaimedamerican.us.